Ever notice how two traders can start at the exact same time, but 5 years later, one's grown their income 1,000 times over, while the other is in the same spot as when they started? And this is not because one got lucky or because the market treated them differently. They both had access to the same charts, the same setups, and the same opportunities. You could say these two are very similar regarding their own skill level and discipline. On the surface, nothing separates them. So what makes one trader exponentially more successful than the other? Well, the truth is, it all comes down to the frame they operate from. As crazy as it sounds, it has nothing to do with discipline or dedication or skill level or intelligence like you've been led to believe. If you think about it, most traders aren't lazy. They aren't unskilled either. Most are extremely dedicated and put in tons of time and effort into their craft. But unfortunately, that will all go to waste if you operate in the wrong frame. A car stuck in the mud and a car on a clean road can press the gas with the same intensity, but one goes nowhere while the other is miles ahead. It's not about how much effort you put in, it's how that effort is directed. And once you direct it in the right place, you'll be surprised at how little it takes to actually become profitable and grow exponentially like the first trader. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what frame you're operating in right now and how to fix it immediately so you can finally start growing exponentially like the traders who make it out on top. Every trader starts off as a hustler. That's just a part of the process. A hustler is someone who's constantly working hard, grinding, and pushing to make things happen. They rely on relentless effort to move forward. In the beginning, you're obsessed with the idea of making money. You want it now. You're looking at every level, every move, and every tick on the chart. You're glued to the screen for hours because you feel like if you're not watching, you're missing an opportunity. And that's normal. You should be hungry in the beginning. You should be obsessed. Because that's how you learn. But here's what happens. The more you hustle, the more you start confusing activity with progress. You think that if you're always doing something, always trading, always analyzing, that you're getting closer to finally hitting it big. But that's not what happens. You might even be using a good, profitable system, but you'll still try and overtrade it. You'll take countless setups, no matter how mediocre. What you're doing here is not trading your system. You're trading your need to feel productive. And this works for a little while. You'll get a few big wins. You'll feel on top of the world. But then you'll notice something. The profits don't stick. You always end up giving it back. You'll overtrade and tilt. And after months, maybe years, you'll realize you're putting in an insane amount of effort and not actually moving the needle. And that's the ceiling of being a hustler. You can be profitable, sure, but how long can you really last? When people say that trading is extremely hard, they're thinking about it from this frame of reference. They're thinking about how a hustler would trade, and they're right. Trading this way is extremely difficult. Some would say impossible, not just financially, but also mentally and physically. It's fatiguing in every single way. It just takes so much out of you and gives very little back, if anything at all. Eventually you realize that you can't outwork the market. You can't just grind your way to enormous profit. The thing is, you're operating in the wrong frame, which is the hustler frame. You think you need to put in more work and take more trades to become more successful. Now this may work in other fields, but it won't work in trading. That kind of approach fails miserably here. And when people see that, they conclude that trading is impossible. And even if it was possible, it would just be a miserably difficult experience that's not worth trying. But here's the thing. It's not the only way. The hustler is still in that mindset of chasing, forcing, reacting, and that's why they burn out. Every trader starts off as a hustler, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, most stay there forever. Now, there are a handful of traders that make it out of that phase. The ones that realize you can't force success, you need to build it instead. That's someone who thinks like a business owner instead of a hustler. And that's the operator. The operator is someone who's been through the daily grind, the overtrading, the burnout, and they've realized that all the effort in the world means nothing without direction. They no longer treat trading like a daily battle to survive. They treat it like a process to execute. So they stop trying to outwork the market and start learning how to work with it. And that's the key difference. Think about it like this. A real business owner isn't in the shop 24/7, trying to personally handle every part of the operation. I mean, sure, you can do that successfully for some time, but you'll eventually realize there's a ceiling to your growth. and it's not sustainable. What a business owner does instead is build systems. They create a structure and a process that runs as efficiently as possible. And this is the best way for the business to grow and scale to a much larger size. You also don't suffer from burnout or exhaustion either, and you're in a way better headspace to grow even more. That's where the exponential effect really kicks in. That's how the operator thinks in trading. They're not trying to milk every inch of the chart. They're not even trying to look for a few good setups to trade. What they're doing is building a framework. They're building a system that can operate regardless of how they feel or perform. That's when trading profitably and scaling finally starts to feel attainable instead of something insanely difficult. The hustler works inside their business, while the operator works on their business. So how do we actually get out of the hustler frame and move into the operator frame? Well, every operator does two non-negotiable things that the hustler doesn't do, or doesn't even consider doing. The first thing they do, like we already mentioned, is to create a bulletproof system. And by bulletproof, I mean a system that tells them exactly what to look for, when to take action, and when to stay out. Their system defines the rules, the risk, the targets, everything. It removes emotion and impulsiveness from the process completely. And when you have that kind of structure, two things happen. Since you're following a system, it does 80% of the work before you even enter a trade. You don't need to figure out every single trade from scratch, and you don't need to be in the market all the time. You have a set time period and a clear set of rules before you even consider engaging. This reduces psychological stress drastically and keeps you absolutely focused on the few minutes where it matters, instead of staring for hours when it doesn't. Even if your performance was the same as the hustlers, you're in an infinitely better position psychology-wise. Trading wouldn't be something miserable and would in fact be something rather quick and pleasant. But this also unlocks another aspect. When you're trading a system consistently, you'll probably get consistent and profitable results. Once you get consistent and profitable results, you'll have proof of concept. You'll have proven to yourself that if you follow this strategy consistently, you can generate a profit. And then nothing else will matter. You won't even consider taking extra setups or overtrading or anything like that, because you know that this works. So, once you get that confidence, you'll be able to trade this consistently and then eventually start compounding those profits. And that's where being an operator really shines. And if you're new to the channel, the system that I use for this is called the LCE model. We map out our supply and demand levels, and these are high volume levels that the price is attracted to. Then we take trades from one level to another. I'll link another video right now where I go into more detail on that, as well as actually backtesting it on a chart. But this, combined with a strict risk management system, is an excellent way to build a system that works for you. Once you have your system laid out and execute it well, you're trading like an operator. And that's the first step into getting out of the hustler frame and into the operator frame. This is the foundation of it. You need a system that can grow and scale regardless of how you perform personally. And once we have our foundation established, the second thing that operators do, which hustlers don't do, is to track data. Now, when I say track data, I don't just mean journaling and writing down your thoughts for the day. I mean, that helps too, but that's not the main focus of tracking data. I mean, evaluating the actual performance of your system from a bird's eye view. So that means looking at every trade from a daily, weekly, and even monthly perspective. This is where you see your trades from the perspective of a working system, and not just as individual trades you take every day. And that's when you get some serious insights on your own performance. You'll be able to see it clearly and know exactly what to do next. For example, when I was trading the LCE model, I used to take every single level-to-level trade possible. This was obviously a huge mistake, and it reflected in my monthly performance. But I noticed that if I took more than 2 trades in a day, it would almost always end as a loss and lower my P&L. So I just decided to not take more than 2 trades in a day, and then my P&L improved. This is how the 2-strike rule came about. I also realized that if I took a win for the day and then took another trade, it would more often than not be a loser and lower my overall P&L. If I took a winning trade for the day, it was best to preserve it and stop trading for that day. And once I did that, my P&L improved even more. So now I'm taking less trades and spending less time on the charts for significantly better results. And this is all because I observed the data from a bird's eye view and was able to see exactly what benefited me and what didn't. So now I don't take more than 2 losses in a day, and I stop trading after 1 win. And now my results have improved dramatically. This is also why I only take breakout trades using the LCE model. Breakout trades are when the price is moving into the next level rather than the level it just came from. When it moves back to the level it came from, that's called a mean reversion trade or a reversal. I'll link a video here where I explain the difference in more detail. But I used to take both breakout trades and mean reversion trades until I realized that mean reversion trades overall were less profitable than breakout trades. So I removed mean reversion trades as well and only took breakout trades. And this took a system which was already profitable and made it far more profitable with far less time and stress. Now I can scale it much easier and more efficiently without worrying too much about my own performance. That's the importance of using data to your advantage. Once you start tracking and refining your system like this, you're no longer just reacting to the market. You're literally engineering consistent profit. By the way, that's exactly what I help traders build inside my mentorship. You'll work with me directly and we'll build a custom plan around your trading. We'll have one-on-one calls as well as a private chat where you can communicate with me at any time. I'll also give you access to this exact level-to-level chart that you can use in real time. So if you're interested, click the link down below to apply. And if this video helped you, then be sure to leave a like and hit subscribe because I drop videos exactly like this every week. I'll see you in the next one.